All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that is quite literally on everyone's mind right now. We're unpacking some absolutely fascinating research out of Harvard Business School by Professor Suraj Srinivasan. We're going to look closely at the hard data behind a topic that affects every single one of us, and that is how generative artificial intelligence is completely transforming the labor market. So, the big question, are we facing mass job elimination, or are we on the brink of this incredible era of human enhancement? Let's get right into it. So, will generative AI replace your job, or will it improve it? That really is the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? I think it's fair to say we all felt this kind of collective wave of existential dread back in November of 2022 when ChatGPT launched to the public. Because suddenly, out of nowhere, you had a machine that could write, it could code, and it could analyze at just a blistering pace. It sparked this massive corporate scramble for efficiency and, frankly, a whole lot of anxiety for employees everywhere. But the good news is, we finally have the actual hard data to show exactly what's been happening to the job market since that fateful launch. Which brings us to Section 1, the ChatGPT shockwave. Now, to really grasp the impact here, we have to look at the timeline of the research. Professor Srinivasan and his team, they didn't just look at a small sample size, they looked at a massive dataset covering nearly all U.S. job vacancies, and they started pulling this data way back in 2019 to get a really solid pre-AI baseline. They tracked all this data right through the November 2022 launch of ChatGPT, all the way to March 2025. Their initial findings dropped in December 2024, and then got completely updated in August 2025. This timeline is absolutely crucial because it gives us a deeply rigorous long-term view of exactly how employer demand shifted before and after AI went totally mainstream. Okay, so here's the first major finding, and yeah, it is a bit of a scary number, minus 13%. Following the launch of ChatGPT, job postings for occupations that involve a lot of structured, repetitive tasks, the kinds of things that generative AI can just easily replicate, they decreased by 13%. That is a really steep drop. And importantly, the data shows that employer demand for these roles just stayed substantially below pre-launch levels all the way through 2025. But wait, we have to instantly pivot to the twist here, because this is where the story gets super compelling. Plus 20%. Over that exact same time period, employer demand for jobs that require more analytical, technical, or creative work actually grew by 20%. Demand for these specific jobs shot up right after late 2022 and just stayed well above earlier levels. So the really crucial takeaway here is that the arrival of AI didn't just freeze hiring across the board, it caused a massive asymmetric shift in what employers are actually looking for. Moving right along to Section 2, automate versus augment. What we're seeing is a sharp divergence in the labor market. It's basically splitting in two. On one side, you have automation, which targets and outright eliminates structured, repetitive tasks. But on the other side, we have augmentation, which actively enhances analytical, technical, and creative work. The research essentially proves that jobs aren't just universally disappearing into some black hole. They're bifurcating. If your job relies on repeating a set structure, well, it's shrinking. But if your job uses AI to complement your distinctly human skills, it is booming right now. To actually measure this, the Harvard Business School team built two distinct indices. The first one is the Automation Index. This captures the potential for automation through generative AI based on an occupation's exposed tasks, meaning the specific daily duties that an AI can easily just do instead of a human. And to figure this out, it's kind of wild. The researchers actually used OpenAI's ChatGPT itself to categorize over 19,000 specific job tasks across more than 900 different occupations. They systematically assessed exactly which tasks were highly exposed to being completely automated by the tech. Then, they built the Augmentation Index. This one measures the potential for generative AI to complement rather than replace workers. It's calculated based on the share of exposed tasks versus unexposed tasks in any given job. Now, this index is the real secret hidden in all this data because it identifies the sweet spot. It highlights occupations that handle tasks that can be automated by AI, sure, but they also involve critical tasks that absolutely require human involvement. These are the jobs where AI acts like a superpowered tool, not a replacement. Let's dive into Section 3, the automation hit list. When the researchers zoomed out and looked at the data at a macro sector level, they found that the absolute largest reductions in job postings for these automation-prone roles happened in two major industries. Number one was finance, and number two, somewhat ironically, was technology itself. Those two sectors took the biggest hits overall when it came to scaling back on jobs filled with structured, repetitive tasks. Now, when we look at the extremes of the automation spectrum, the roles with a significantly higher likelihood of automation sit way above the average on the automation index. We're talking about roles like correspondence clerks, interpreters and translators, medical transcriptionists, and even project management specialists. Basically, heavily desk-bound, highly structured roles. But look at the other side. Roles with a significantly lower likelihood of automation sit right near the bottom of the index. Food preparation workers, dancers, tile and stone setters, and forensic science technicians. These are highly physical or incredibly specialized, hands-on roles that a generative AI simply cannot touch. Now for the good stuff in Section 4, Jobs Enhanced by AI. Looking at the extremes of the augmentation index, roles like microbiologists, interior designers, robotics technicians, and family medicine physicians sit well above the average. They have a really high likelihood of AI supporting their daily tasks. The research points out that these jobs tend to involve a much greater use of social skills and hands-on technical skills. Now flip that around. Writers and authors, which, is just slightly terrifying for whoever writes these explainers, financial quantitative analysts, regulatory affairs managers, and search marketing strategists, they all fall below the mean. They actually suggest surprisingly limited augmentation potential. They just don't have that optimal mix of exposed and unexposed tasks to benefit massively from AI as a collaborative tool. And this example right here brilliantly illustrates exactly how successful augmentation works in practice. Professor Srinivasan uses finance as a perfect example of this human-AI collaboration. So think about investment managers or financial analysts. In their workflow, the AI handles all the heavy lifting. It processes massive amounts of market data and evaluates thousands of data points pretty much instantly. But it stops there. That's when the unexposed tasks take over. Human judgment is then required to interpret those results, and a human makes the final decision. The AI doesn't replace the analyst, it just gives them super speed and far better data, which, as we saw, makes them 20% more in demand by employers. Bringing it all together in Section 5, the human-AI future. This quote from Professor Srinivasan perfectly anchors everything we've been talking about today. He says, rather than solely eliminating jobs, generative AI creates new demand in augmentation-prone roles, suggesting that human-AI collaboration is a key driver of labor market transformation. I mean, that is an incredibly empowering thesis statement. The data from millions of job postings proves that human collaboration, human judgment, and our social and physical skills are not being eliminated. They are the exact things driving the future of the labor market. Which leaves us with a really vital question to ponder as we wrap up. Take a look at your own workflow. How can you position your daily tasks toward augmentation rather than automation? How can you lean into those social interactions, the complex judgment calls, and the hands-on work, and just let AI handle the structured repetition? That 20% surge in demand is out there for the taking if you position yourself right. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.